process to go ahead with. Yeah. So we had to go ahead with transcription. In the last class, we have discussed about the genetic code. So any difficulty with the genetic code, the characteristics of genetic code, everything very important, very crucial, right? So I'll just go through. Okay. So here we go ahead with transcription. I'll just quickly go ahead before whatever we had done in the last class. Uh, yeah. So this we saw in the last class. That is genetic code. What exactly it's all about, and who devised it. Thank you, Komal. So the term was given by George Gamow. Yeah. So the relationship we have seen between DNA, the RNA, and the code that it is going to be giving you all. So how the uh, entire triplet code was generated is something that we have seen in the last class. So if you remember this, great. It was a triplet code. It was not made up of four codons. It cannot be a permutation combination of two each. Rather, it's 4 raised to 3. That is 64 codons we have seen, and how Narenberg and Hargobind Khurana together worked to find out that it's a triplet code. They have proved it. And we also have seen that Savero-Oka enzyme, which is going to be a polynucleotide phosphorylase enzyme, which is helping in synthesizing the RNA without a template. Now, RNA without a template means without any mold, without any, like complementary basis on its own. mRNA can be synthesized in lab, and this was possible only because of the enzyme called as Savero-Oka enzyme. Now, this Savero-Oka enzyme name is there in your books also, in your NCRT also. Kindly do not forget it. Correct? Then we saw that how the triplet code is framed all together. How do we get permutation combinations of 64 is what we have seen in the last class, of which we have to remember which is the start codon, which is the stop codon. So AUG was the start codon, UA, UAG, UGA, or the stop codons is what we have seen in the last class, along with AUG and tryptophan, that is TRP. So these are the two, where's my pointer? So these are the two which are going to be, see, AUG is methionine and TRP is UGG. These are the only two which are going to be all alone coded by the same, only single codon. Rest you can see there are four different codons. There are, six different codons which code for the same amino acid, right? So these things matter a lot. So the properties we have discussed in the next slide, that is the characteristic or the properties of the genetic code, where we have seen it's triplet in nature, it's universal. In all living organisms, UUU, see this one, UUU in all organisms will code for phenylalanine only. कि rats में UUU serine है, human beings में UUU phenylalanine है, टाइगर में UUU tryptophan है, ऐसे नहीं होता है बेटा. It's universal in all living organisms. Whatever living organisms are going to be there, all will be having the same genetic code. It's universally accepted, right? This is what universality. Non-ambiguous nature, they are saying only one codon will specify one amino acid, nothing else. Except they are saying GUG, which is going to be bringing methionine if AUG is not available. Correct? It's non-overlapping, it's comma-less, it's read continuously. My voice is lagging, is it? Is my voice lagging? No, na. But please check from your end because I cannot see any pop-up. I cannot see any pop-up on my screen saying that there is some issue with the net. So just check your net, beta. Yeah, so it's going to be comma-less. Degeneracy of code is what we have seen, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. there are 6 codons which are going to be coding for only one amino acid, that is called as degeneracy, right? So majority of them are going to be 6, 4, 2 at least, exception are only 2, AUG and tryptophan, right? We know that what is a wobble base also, that is what we saw in the last class with the wobble hypothesis. That is the first two nucleotide sequences are important to bring the respective amino acid. The third one is irrelevant, is what we have seen in the last class. Well, then we have seen the exceptions, like how the universally accepted code differs a bit in different cases in different organisms, especially in the mitochondria. Okay, so this is what we have to remember. And I told you a very important point. What is the synonym of UAA? It's ochre. UAG, amber. UGA, opal. Do not forget this. It comes for match the following. Right? Yeah. This was the wobbling that I told you, that only the first two codons are important. Third one is irrelevant in many cases, not in all cases. Monocystronic, polycystronic. This is a very crucial definition that we have seen. The mRNA in which the genetic signal for the formation of only one polypeptide is called as monocystronic, and simultaneously when many polypeptides will be synthesized, we call it as polycystronic. Correct? We have seen up till the central dogma that DNA to RNA, RNA to proteins is the central dogma of life. In every life, every living organism, in every individual cells also, this rule is followed. What is it? DNA will be copied as RNA. RNA will result in the formation of proteins. So DNA to RNA, RNA to proteins is the central dogma. Correct? But there is going to be a little bit of exception over here when the enzyme called as reverse transcriptase comes into existence. So in certain viruses especially, we have seen reverse transcriptase, especially if you remember teminism, that is Temin and Baltimore have found out this particular effect in Rous sarcoma virus, which is also present in our HIV virus, and coincidentally it's the same which is there in our coronavirus as well as of now. So reverse transcriptase क्या करता है? DNA to RNA, sorry, RNA to DNA and DNA to RNA. तो protein synthesis हो ही नहीं रहे, देखो. Got it? So it's getting just reverse. So DNA to RNA, RNA to proteins ऐसा होना चाहिए ना. तो ये RNA to DNA होता है. That is reverse ना. DNA to RNA होना चाहिए. How is it happening? RNA to DNA to form something called as your complementary DNA, also called as cDNA. C doesn't stand for copy. C stands for complementary DNA. Complementary means अगर इधर A है तो इधर U आएगा. इधर G है तो इधर C आएगा. That is called as your complementary DNA. Okay. So this DNA is called as complementary DNA. It's complementary to whom? It's complementary to the RNA sequences. So it's going ulta. इसलिए उसको हम कहते हैं reverse, right? And sometimes the DNA moves in the host genome. So these genes are called as transposomes. This transposomes के बारे में sir will tell you in detail in the chapter of biotech. So biotechnology chapter has been done with you all. Biotechnology process and application has been done or no? No. Okay. No issues. So in that biotech chapter, sir will tell you all more about this transposomes. Basically, the transposomes are also called as jumping genes. They're also called as jumping genes. So there are two methods of jumping genes, copy paste and cut paste. Sir will explain all these things. I'm just giving you all a brief. So in this jumping genes, what happens, beta? A segment of DNA will be copied. Okay. And that segment will keep on jumping from one place to another. इसको हम कहते हैं transposons. Yeah, it will be cut and it will be pasted at different location. That is called as cut paste transposons. And it was for the first time found in अपना मेज. जिया मेज में सबसे पहले ट्रांसपोजोन जो है ना वो फाइंड आउट किए गए थे. ओके. सो ये जो ट्रांसपोजोम्स होते हैं ना ये करते रहते हैं कॉपी पेस्ट या कट पेस्ट करते रहते हैं. इट वाज फाउंड आउट बाय मैक्लिंटॉक. It was found out by Barbara McClintock. Anyways, all these things will be explained by Sir to you all. but sometimes like the DNA also moves as copies of that particular segment of DNA. Okay, so that's called as transposons, and if it's direct movement, it is called as retrotransposons in case of reverse transcription. So I will explain all these things, don't worry. So I guess till here we had stopped, and today we have to go ahead with transcription. Well, so a very important phenomena which is taking place even now in your cells as well as in my cells. So it's a continuous process which is going to be taking place in all living cells. So what exactly is this? What exactly is this? How exactly is this, transcription uh, processed? And what exactly is transcription is what we have to understand in today's lecture. Okay. So see, the process of copying genetic information from one strand of DNA into RNA is termed as transcription. But a DNA is a double-stranded structure, correct? Out of these two strands, only one strand will act as a template. ठीक है? अब which strand should act as a template? एक question mark होता है कि यार दो strand में से कौन सा strand template strand बनेगा? तो एक थंब रूल है कि कोई भी सिंथेसिस हो, लेट इट बी डीएनए सिंथेसिस, लेट इट बी आरएनए सिंथेसिस, it will be from which end to which end, what prime to what prime is the formation of a new strand taking place? Can you all tell me from which to which will be the new strand synthesis? Very nice, Shruti. Bilkul correct answer. Others, come on, tell me. Yes, Parnavi, very good. Very good. The new, let it be DNA synthesis, let it be RNA synthesis. It's always going to be in one particular direction. Which is that direction? Shruti and Pranavi has given me the right answers. Come on, others, please go ahead with your answers. I want everyone to answer this basic question, बच्चा. हमने पूरा DNA का replication देखा हुआ है. बताइए. Leading strand, lagging strand. एक ही direction में होता है ये continuation. कौन सा direction में? From which prime to which prime? Quickly answer the question. Yes, Sonali, very good answer. Very good answer, Sonali. Only 3 answers out of so many students. Viva, even you are right, beta. Even you are right. Bilkul correct. Bilkul correct. Come on, boys. Boys ka good morning हुआ नहीं है? Are all the boys still in the good night mode even at 10:30? Boys, come on, come on, come on. I want answers from you all as well. How is the elongation taking place? Aryan, beware before answering. Huh? Give me the answer, in fact. Come on. If you don't know this basic thing, then what is the use of me going ahead with the details of all the things which are actually very, very crucial and important? Chalo, come on, come on, come on. Devang, Manan, Himanshu, इधर हो सब लोग. Aryan, Aditya. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Quickly, boys. I want answer from you all. The elongation takes place from which prime to which prime? कहाँ से कहाँ elongation होता है? जल्दी बताओ. Yes, Sara, you're right. मनन, हाँ नाम लेने तक आंसर नहीं देने का ऐसा कुछ ठान लिया है क्या तुमने? हाँ, you're giving the right answer and you're just waiting for me to take your name or what? Other boys also, come on. मनन, you're right बेटा. बिल्कुल सही आंसर है तुम्हारा. बिल्कुल सही आंसर है. Yes, Komal, even you're right. Very good, Samiksha. Samiksha is also right. So I think even this year मतलब तुम्हारे बैच में भी, am I girls going to be the toppers as usual? Girls, see, your friends are not ready to answer. हाँ, एवरी ईयर ऐसे ही होता है. तो ये साथ भी वो ट्रेंड चालू रहेगा क्या? All the girls who have answered 5 prime to 3 prime is the right answer. Always the elongation will take place from the 5 prime end to the 3 prime end. We have seen the video also. मैंने आपको वीडियो भी बताया था, लीडिंग स्ट्रैंड एंड लैगिंग स्ट्रैंड. तो लीडिंग स्ट्रैंड में always is going to be, you know, like a continuity of 5 prime to 3 prime. On the other hand, lagging में क्या हो रहा था? As and when the DNA opens, only then there will be a primer sitting, and then there will be elongation from 5 prime to 3 prime. So let it be any strand, always let it be mRNA strand, let it be DNA strand, let it be any strand elongation. What is the rule? The rule is always the elongation will be from 5 prime to 3 prime. This is a rule. Never ever forget this rule. Elongation of any new strand will be from 5 prime to 3 prime end only. Is it very clear to all of you all now? Aryan, good night hai to leave the meeting and actually go to sleep. Huh? Because I am not in the mood to go to sleep, and I am not in the mood to teach anyone who are in the sleeping mode also. So those who want to sleep may leave the meeting and go to sleep. So your जो दिलो दिमाग से जगे हुए हैं उनके लिए ही सिर्फ ये लेक्चर है मेरा. हाँ, दिलो दिमाग से अगर सोए हुए हो तो कोई जरूरत नहीं है लेक्चर अटेंड करने की. मेक्स नो सेंस. So elongation is always going to be from 5 prime to 3 prime. This is the thumb rule. So अगर 5 prime to 3 prime elongation करना है तो उसका complementary strand will act as a template strand, isn't it? Right or wrong? हाँ, तो जो strand का polarity is 3 prime to 5 prime, that will act as a template for the mRNA synthesis. Do you agree? Have you all understood this? Exactly. So the two strands of DNA, one 5 prime to 3 prime, other 3 prime to 5 prime, ऐसे दो एंटी पैरेलल स्ट्रैंड्स होते हैं डीएनए के, आपको ऑलरेडी पता है. So out of these two, the one which is 3 prime to 5 prime wala strand will act as a template for the synthesis of RNA. So which strand will be a template strand? The strand having a polarity of 3 prime to 5 prime of the DNA will act as a template strand for the synthesis of RNA, which will be from 5 prime to 3 prime, so that the anti-parallelity is maintained. Correct? Got this? Yes. So here also the principle of complementarity governs the process of transcription, except that adenosine now forms base pair with uracil instead of thymine because it's RNA. However, unlike the process of replication, which once sets in, the total DNA of an organism gets duplicated, whereas in transcription, only a segment of DNA and only one of the strands is copied into RNA. तो डीएनए में क्या हो रहा था? Both the strands were separating and both the strands were acting as a template for the synthesis of a new strand. That was in case of DNA replication. In case of RNA formation, that is in case of transcription, the process is not like DNA. There will be a bubble formation. Bubble formation का मतलब क्या है? Only a part of that double stranded DNA will be opened up like a bubble. So they look like an eclair का chocolate. Eclair का chocolate कैसे होता है? साइड से ऐसे ट्विस्टेड है, करेक्ट, और बीच में से ऐसे बल्ज है जहां पर एक्चुअल चॉकलेट होता है. तो रैपर कैसे दिखता है बेटा? सीधा, बल्ज, सीधा, करेक्ट. Something like that way it's going to happen in case of RNA. So only a segment of DNA will form a bubble which is called as transcription bubble. और जितना ट्रांसक्रिप्शन के लिए जितना बबल बना है ना उतना ही सीक्वेंस कॉपी किया जाएगा डीएनए का, नॉट द एंटायर लेंथ ऑफ डीएनए. इज इट फाइन? तो ऐसे बहुत बबल्स बनते जाएंगे. इट्स नॉट अ रूल दैट ओनली वन बबल इज गोइंग टू बी देयर विल बी सेवरल बबल्स बीइंग फॉर्म्ड. So there will be several areas which will be copied. Is it right? Are you all following this? So this is the difference between DNA replication and RNA formation. DNA replication, there is no bubble. Both these strands open up, act as template, and both the strands के ऊपर new strands will be synthesized as in case of replication of DNA. In case of transcription, there's going to be the double strand will be separated temporarily in between, which is called as a bubble. And in that bubble, the RNA synthesis will take place on the 3' to 5' wala strand. Is it clear? Is it fine? Okay. Now see, this necessitates defining the boundaries that would demark the region and the strand of DNA that would be transcribed. So that will decide that which area is demarked. जिसको हम bubble कह रहे थे, it is a demarcated area. Only in that area transcription is going to be taking place. Okay. So that is what is all about the transcription. Any difficulty, any doubts regarding any point that you can see right now on your screen? Come on, tell me. Is there any difficulty regarding this? I'll go ahead. Okay. Now, why both the strands are not copied during transcription? So first, what comes in our mind now? Entire RNA content be transcribed to DNA. No, bacha. Entire DNA content should get transcribed to RNA, not the entire RNA to DNA. What is the central dogma? DNA to RNA, RNA to proteins. Okay. But if you remember, there is something called as euchromatin and heterochromatin. Do you recollect these two words? Yes. So this particular transcription, हमने जब euchromatin ये word explain किया था, that time I had told you all that it is transcriptionally active part of DNA. Whereas heterochromatin I had told you is going to be transcriptionally inactive part of DNA. Therefore, the entire DNA will not get transcribed. Only and only where a bubble formation is possible. Only in that areas only the transcription is going to be possible. That area will be called as euchromatin. Now try to link the points. अब ये जो dots है ना बेटा इनको हमें link करके एक frame clearly mind में बनानी है. तो euchromatin जो था मैंने आपको diagram दिखाया था तो वो जो न्यूक्लियोसोम्स थे उनके बीच में ज्यादा लंबा डीएनए का स्ट्रैंड था, करेक्ट? It was loosely packed. If you remember euchromatin, it's loosely packed. Heterochromatin is densely packed. Euchromatin has got more of DNA and less of RNA. Heterochromatin has got more of RNA and less of DNA, right? So these all things now you have to, correlate. So what is a transcriptionally active? This is what is called as transcriptionally active. So the process of transcription will take place only in that particular euchromatin area, right? Right? Got it? Exactly. So see, that is what, if both the strands get copied, what will be the complication? First, if both the strands act as template, they would code for RNA molecule with different sequences. Definitely. Remember, the complementarity does not mean identical. Complementarity means A with U, G with C, correct? And in turn, if they code for protein, the sequence of amino acids in the proteins would be different. तो ये पर्टिकुलर सीक्वेंस के प्रोटीन्स अलग बनेंगे, दूसरे स्ट्रैंड के सीक्वेंस के प्रोटीन्स अलग बनेंगे, which is not going to be accepted, right? Hence, one segment of DNA would be coding for two different types of proteins, and this would complicate the genetic information transfer machinery. It will be very complicated. It won't be the way it is now. So that's not never going to happen that both the strands of DNA will be copied simultaneously, right? Second, the two RNA molecules, if produced simultaneously, would be complementary to each other. and hence would form a double-stranded RNA. And this would prevent RNA from getting translated into proteins. So we know that mRNA is a single-stranded linear molecule. We have seen the properties of mRNA in the previous classes, lectures, right? So mRNA is single-stranded, therefore it can be copied, therefore it can be translated by the ribosomes and make proteins. But if it is double-stranded, if it is complementary, what is the, I mean, how can it be, forming complementarity with the ribosomes? It's not possible then, right? So it's never going to help in protein synthesis if the RNA is going to be double stranded. And that is the reason that never ever both the strands of DNA will be copied for making RNA. Only one strand will be copied for making RNA, and that strand, which is going to be acting as a template, again, I'm using this word template, is the one which has got the polarity from 3' to 5', so that a continuous RNA strand from 5' to 3' can be synthesized. Because new synthesis will always be taking place from 5' to 3'. Agreed? Did you all understand why both the strands are not copied during transcription? Clear about this? Well, important points which are transcription unit. Now the bubble that I was talking about, the transcription bubble that I was talking about is nothing but it's called as a transcription unit. So what is a transcription unit? A transcription unit in DNA is defined primarily by three regions in the DNA. Three regions in the DNA, not on the RNA. RNA अभी बनने का बाकी है बेटा, RNA सिंथेसाइज होने वाला है, इसलिए ये जो सारा डिस्क्रिप्शन है ये पूरा DNA टेम्पलेट से रिलेटेड डिस्क्रिप्शन है. So there are going to be three regions which will be defining the transcription unit of the DNA. The first will be called as the promoter region. The second will be called as the structural gene, and the third will be called as the terminator region. So promoter and terminator, बराबर है? Promoter, terminator, और बीच का जो है उसको हम कहते हैं structural gene. There could be as many as 1,000 genes in between. No one is going to restrict that. Okay, so the number of structural genes could be many nucleotide sequences. ऐसा 10 है, 5 है, 20 है, 1,000 है, 500 है, ऐसा कोई restriction नहीं है. The longer is the euchromatin, the longer will be the transcription unit का length. Okay, understood? So the promoter region, the structural gene and the terminator. So promoter initiate करेगा, terminator end करेगा transcription के process को. So one will help in initiation of the RNA formation, one will help in the end and release of the RNA transcription. Is it fine? So remember the three words: promoter, structural gene, and terminator. There is a convention in defining the two strands of the DNA in the structural gene of transcription unit. What is this convention? Just understand. Since the two strands have opposite polarity of the DNA-dependent RNA polymerase also catalyzes polymerization in only one direction. That is going to be from 5' to 3'. And the strand which is having a polarity of 3' to 5' of the DNA will act as a template. And this strand is also referred to as a template strand. So this is what I was talking about. तो DNA के दो strands है, एक है 5' to 3', एक है 3' to 5'. तो हमें क्या करना है? हमें कौन सा स्ट्रैंड हमारे मतलब ये पूरी सिस्टम कौन सा स्ट्रैंड एक्सेप्ट करती है फॉर सिंथेसिस, जिधर उसको विदाउट फुल स्टॉप, विदाउट कॉमा, कंटिन्यूअसली जाने को मिलेगा, वो स्ट्रैंड वो टेम्पलेट के नाम से यूज करेगा. राइट? So DNA template is 3' to 5'. New synthesis will be from 5' to 3'. याद रखिएगा ये point. Okay. The other strand which has the polarity of 5' to 3' of DNA and the sequence as RNA except thymine at the place of uracil is displayed during transcription. So I think I had given you all these particular examples to solve. 5 prime to 3 prime mRNA है तो DNA का स्ट्रैंड क्या है, ये दिया था मैंने आपको सॉल्व करने के लिए कि नहीं दिया है? Yes. Strangely, now this is a very important point and a very what do we say, a crucial point for discussion. Look at the second point. Strangely, this strand, that is 5 prime to 3 prime of DNA strand, which actually does not code for anything, is referred to as the coding strand. अब यहाँ पर कितना गड़बड़ करके रखा है देखो. DNA का strand which is 5 prime to 3 prime is not coding for RNA. Still it is called as the coding strand. Why? Because the one which is actually responsible for the RNA synthesis is from 3 prime to 5 prime, जिसको हम template कहते हैं. So 5 prime to 3 prime DNA is coding. 3 prime to 5 prime DNA is template. And again 5 prime to 3 prime is going to be your RNA. है ना? Yeah, it's non-template. Yes, but Samiksha, you're right. The word should have been non-template, but non-template को books कहते हैं अपना coding. So the other word which is non-template is going to be coding. Rather, coding is the right word that we have to remember over here. Got it? Understood? So see, बच्चा इधर दिया है मैंने 5 prime to 3 prime. We call it as coding strand, which actually does not code for anything. 3 prime to 5 prime will act as a template strand on which mRNA synthesis will take place, or rather RNA synthesis would take place. So 3 prime to 5 prime template hai, so how will be the RNA synthesis again? 5 to 3, and the sequence will be what? U, A, same sequence, ये इसका ही sequence, T के जगह पर U डालो, U, A, C, G, A, U, G, C, G, U, करेक्ट. तो जिधर जिधर T है ना बेटा उधर उधर U डालना है, बाकी कुछ नहीं. For your mRNA, this already practice I have given you. Now see, so you understood which is the coding strand. Which does not code for anything is the coding strand. Okay, fine. तो ये कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी समझो बेटा ट्रांसक्रिप्शन की. इसके वजह से ये कुछ पॉइंट्स के वजह से है ना बच्चों को ट्रांसक्रिप्शन बहुत डिफिकल्ट लगता है, but it's very simple. The one which is 5 prime to 3 prime of DNA is called as the coding strand, even though it is not coding for anything. Whereas the 3 prime to 5 prime of DNA, which actually codes for the RNA nucleotide sequence, is going to be called as the template strand. So please don't make a blunder. I'm repeating this again and again. Coding strand is not going to code for any RNA. Template strand, which is complementary to the coding strand, will act as the code for RNA synthesis. Yes, yeah, बिल्कुल correct बेटा. 5 prime to 3 prime is the coding strand. 3 prime to 5 prime is the template strand. And template का मतलब होता है mold. Mold मतलब उसके ऊपर जो भी हम डालेंगे वो same shape लेके आएगा. Correct? Got it? Okay. But look at the further complexity of this particular process. All the reference points while defining a transcription unit is made with the coding strand. तो सारे references जो हम करेंगे ना, हम coding strand के हिसाब से references करेंगे, ना कि template strand के हिसाब से. To explain this point, the hypothetical sequence from transcription unit is represented below. So this is going to be the sequence which they have given in your books also to make you all understand what is coding, what is template. What references I'll tell you, beta. I'll tell you what are the references. So we say the promoter lies 5 prime upstream is what is the word. So what is the location of promoter? 5 prime upstream. 5 prime किसका upstream? 5 prime template का upstream कि 5 prime coding का upstream. So it's 5 prime coding का upstream. उसको हम कहते हैं references. Terminator lies 3 prime downstream किसका 3 प्राइम डाउनस्ट्रीम? तो वो जो है 3 प्राइम डाउनस्ट्रीम, वो 3 प्राइम इज गोइंग टू बी ऑफ द कोडिंग स्ट्रैंड. तो ऐसे जो हम रेफरेंसेस करते हैं ना, टू अंडरस्टैंड द पोजीशन ऑफ द प्रमोटर, टू अंडरस्टैंड द पोजीशन ऑफ द टर्मिनेटर, विल बी प्योरली बेस्ड ऑन द कोडिंग स्ट्रैंड का सीक्वेंस एंड नॉट फ्रॉम द टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. Okay, I'll tell you all what is this 5 prime upstream and all. Tension na lo beta. Ye lo. So here you can see this is 5 prime, this is 3 prime. This is the coding strand. This is 3 prime, this is 5 prime, template strand. Okay, where is the promoter lying? If you see, look at the description. Promoter lies 5 prime upstream. 5 prime upstream of whom bacha? Of the coding strand. Terminator lies 3 prime downstream of whom? The coding strand. So you understood what are the references? References are with respect to the position of the promoter and the terminator, which is decided by the coding strand का polarity. ये जो आपके सामने है, अभी जो आप डायग्राम देख रहे हो, it is called as a transcription unit with promoter region, terminator region, and the structural region in the center. And how is the transcription going to take place? You can see over here, the transcription will be like this way. Correct? Understood? So इधर 3 प्राइम के जगह पर 5 प्राइम आएगा और इधर से ऐसे ये जो टेल है वो लंबी 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 होती जाएगी. कब तक लंबी होगी? The minute it comes into the terminator region, बंद हो जाएगा. So who decides what is the promoter? Who decides what is the terminator? वो भी हमें तो देखना है ना. चर्चगेट स्टेशन के आगे ट्रेन नहीं जाती है. आप कभी गए हो चर्चगेट स्टेशन? Have you all been to Churchgate station any time? Have you all seen it is the dead end? उसके आगे ट्रेन नहीं जाती है बेटा, नहीं तो वो सीमेंट का पूरा स्टेशन तोड़ के उसको जाना पड़ेगा. So who decides that it is the end point? Similarly, if you have been, now of course the western zone is like, you know, western railway is too far off to actually go beyond the RR and all also, you know, like पूरा गुजरात तक है वो, no doubt about it. But who decides the end, who decides the starting point is something that we have to understand. So उधर तो चलो स्टेशन बांध लिया तो it is the end, उसके आगे पटरी है नहीं, उसके आगे there is you know, like no tracks laid beyond Churchgate, so it's not possible. So in case of DNA and RNA, who decides which are the two regions which will initiate and which will stop this entire unit? Yes, my dear. Yes, my dear. So how is this possible? How the transcription is going to be, you know, progressing ahead with what particular things is something that we have to understand. So at least have you all understood the transcription unit, coding strand, template strand, the polarity? Any problem with this particular thing as of now? Come on. ये basic अगर समझा है तो आगे का समझना easy हो जाएगा. बबल, ये पूरे एरिया को बबल कहते हैं. आगे के डायग्राम में आपको दिखाई देगा व्हाट्स अ बबल. आई शो यू. दिस एंटायर डायग्राम इज कॉल्ड एज अ बबल. द ट्रांसक्रिप्शन यूनिट का ही नाम है ट्रांसक्रिप्शन बबल. You didn't get the reason why is it called as a coding strand? It's going to code for inheritance, beta. It doesn't code for any proteins or it doesn't code for any RNA, but it is called as coding because it's going to be coding for inheritance. So the way we are because of our parents, the similarity between we and our parents is called as inheritance. So the coding strand is actually going to code for inheritance and not for protein synthesis. And inheritance is going to be something much more important because it's going to be passed on from one generation to the next. So it's given an importance, it's given an honor in honor of its work that it's going to do for inheritance. Therefore, it's going to be called as the coding strand actually. Okay, so it doesn't code for protein synthesis, but it codes for inheritance. Is it fine? A good question, beta. Very nice question. Yeah, beta. What's your doubt? या जहाँ ट्रांसक्रिप्शन हो रहा है दैट्स गोइंग टू बी कॉल्ड एज अ बबल. वेरी ट्रू, वेरी ट्रू, वेरी ट्रू. Others, anyone having any difficulty with this particular point, beta? No? The promoter and the terminator flank the structural genes in a transcription unit. Flank means दोनों साइड से आके उसको पकड़ रहे हैं. एक साइड से प्रमोटर है, एक साइड से टर्मिनेटर है, और बीच में है अपना स्ट्रक्चरल जीन. The promoter is said to be located 5' upstream of the structural gene, with reference made with what? The polarity of the coding strand. Now, what do you mean by upstream? Is something that we have to understand. The meaning of upstream is not given in your books. They have not clarified on this particular point that what is this upstream, what is it downstream. दोनों बताऊंगी मैं आपको, don't worry. Just first understand. The promoter is said to lie 5' upstream of the coding strand to like from the point of the structural gene. It is the DNA sequence that provides binding sites for RNA polymerase, and it is the presence of a promoter in a transcription unit that also defines the template and the coding strand. So, what do you mean by this? Also, I'll tell you. Look at the third point. By switching its position with the terminator, the definition of coding and the template strand would be reversed. The terminator is located 3' downstream of the coding strand, and it usually defines the end of the process of transcription. इसीलिए उसको terminator कहते हैं, बराबर? There are additional regulatory sequences that may be present further upstream or downstream to the promoter. So ये upstream, downstream ये सारा क्या है? एक भी point जो मैंने read किया वो समझ में नहीं आया है. आया ना? Whatever I have read from these slides, it's okay. No issues. नहीं समझने दो. फिर मैं क्यों हूँ? What is my role? I know, beta. कुछ नहीं समझेगा. Just reading these things, and these are the things which are just given in your books, my dears. So let us understand all these points very precisely. किधर गया वो diagram? हाँ. Now see, what are they saying? The promoter lies 5' upstream of the coding strand at the structural gene. So see, my dears, this is going to be the structural gene, right? Structural gene के पहले जो आता है ना, structural gene के पहले जो आता है, उस region को हम कहते हैं upstream of 5'. What is upstream? Anything that is going to lie before the structural gene is going to be called as what? Upstream. Anything that is going to lie beyond the structural gene position will be called as downstream. So upstream matlab before the structural gene. Downstream matlab after the structural gene. So ये समझ में आ गया? Yeah, always promoter will be at the first position. Got it? So जहाँ structural gene है, उसके पहले वाले region को क्या कहते हैं? Upstream. जहाँ structural gene है, उसके बाद वाले region को क्या कहते हैं? Downstream. So first point to be noted. Upstream क्या है? Downstream क्या है? Okay, fine. Then they are saying that the promoter region will be bound by an enzyme called as RNA polymerase. ये point second point था अपना उस slide का. So RNA polymerase, देखिए DNA polymerase was helping in making DNA strand. Now what we want? We want RNA strand. So which enzyme should be making the RNA strand? RNA polymerase. So this RNA polymerase will bind to a specific region. Please understand this point. The RNA polymerase will bind to a specific region. The region where the RNA polymerase binds will be called as promoter region. देखिए बेटा, बहुत important point बता रही हूँ मैं आपको. RNA polymerase will help in formation of RNA molecule. Correct? So the point on the DNA the point on the DNA where the RNA polymerase enzyme binds will be decided as the promoter region. Is it fine? ये point समझ में आया? The point, the sequence on the DNA which is recognized by the RNA polymerase to which it will go and bind will be decided as the promoter region. So what is the promoter region? The promoter region is the region which will be recognized by RNA polymerase, which will go and bind to that particular region and will be called as promoter region. And beyond the promoter region now will be the structural genes. Now you all understood the definitions perfectly. Is there anyone who has not followed my language? हाँ एग्जैक्टली जिस पॉइंट पे आरएनए पॉलीमरेज बाइंड करेगा वो रीजन को डिक्लेयर किया जाएगा कि ये प्रमोटर है. इज इट ओके? anyone who has got any difficulty in understanding this point, come on, ask me now only. आगे का प्रोसेस नहीं समझेगा unless and until you don't follow this. Exactly. So what is the last point that I have said? The region on the coding strand. What is the coding strand? Come on, tell me the polarity of the coding strand. What prime to what prime is the coding strand? Quickly. 5 to 3. Very good. So yes, Sia bacha. Very good. Yes, Prachi. Perfect. So the coding strand, the one which is having 5 prime to 3 prime, the sequence on that will be recognized by RNA polymerase enzyme. It will be recognized by whom? RNA polymerase enzyme, and it will go and attach to that particular point. जिधर ये attachment हुआ, जिधर RNA polymerase enzyme का attachment हुआ, उस point को declare किया जाएगा ये promoter है. Is it okay? So who decides the promoter region? Who decides the promoter region? The RNA polymerase binding efficiency with the DNA molecule will decide the promoter region. Is it okay? Is it okay? Okay. Beyond that, all the entire bubble will be called as structural gene. आगे सारा का सारा structural gene ही कहा जाएगा. कब तक उसको हम कहते हैं? Till what point are we going to call it as structural gene? Till the point terminator does not come into existence. When will terminator come into existence? Who will decide terminator? Again, RNA polymerase will only decide the terminator. कैसे possible है भाई ये कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या हो रहा है? ये बताती हूँ बेटा क्या हो रहा है कैसे हो रहा है समझो इसको. RNA polymerase is an enzyme which is having a sigma factor present in it. It's a holoenzyme basically, which will have several factors: alpha, alpha dash, beta, beta dash, omega, sigma. ऐसे अलग अलग factors ये RNA polymerase में present होते हैं. इनमें से ये जो sigma factor होता है ना, sigma factor, ये दोस्त है अपने DNA का. तो RNA polymerase enzyme का जो sigma factor है ना, वो डिसाइड करता है कि हाँ ये देखो इधर है मेरा दोस्त, कम एंड अटैच, विच विल बी कॉल्ड एज योर प्रमोटर रीजन. अब ये जो सिग्मा फैक्टर होता है ना, सिग्मा फैक्टर, ये सिग्मा फैक्टर जब तक आरएनए पॉलीमरेज के पास है, ये सिग्मा फैक्टर जो रिकॉग्नाइज कर रहा था, किसको रिकॉग्नाइज किया? आरएनए पॉलीमरेज एंजाइम ने किसको रिकॉग्नाइज किया बच्चा? डीएनए को रिकॉग्नाइज किया. तो जब किसमें? वो आरएनए पॉलीमरेज के कौन से यूनिट ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया? तो सिग्मा फैक्टर ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया. तो द सिग्मा फैक्टर recognized the sequence, a peculiar sequence. I'll tell you the name of that sequence also. It's called as Tata box or it's called as cat box. क्या है वो मैं आगे बताऊंगी, डोंट वरी. तो आरएनए पॉलीमरेज आया, एक ग्रुप आया फ्रेंड्स का, है ना. ये सारे ग्रुप में से एक है जिसने राइट प्लेस ढूंढ निकाली. तो उसने बोला अरे ये देखो, दिस इज द हाउस वी हैव टू गो टू. सो The sigma factor recognized the promoter region. Did you all understand this? है ना? Now जब तक sigma factor है तब तक स्ट्रक्चरल जीन का कॉपिंग नहीं होगा. जब तक सिग्मा फैक्टर है तब तक स्ट्रक्चरल जीन का कॉपिंग नहीं होगा. मतलब complementary base sequences for structural gene area will not be started. So what is to be done? जो सिग्मा फैक्टर है उसको दे धक्का, उसको निकाल दो. So from the RNA polymerase enzyme, the sigma factor will move out. The sigma factor will be lost. And the minute the sigma factor is lost, the copying of the structural gene will begin. Did you all understand this point? RNA polymerase is a holoenzyme. It is going to have several factors in it. Out of these, there is one factor called as the sigma factor, which recognizes the DNA sequence. It goes and attaches at the coding strand 5' end upstream. Then the sigma factor is thrown out and the rest of the factors will help in the elongation or formation of RNA. Did you all understand this? हाँ, सिग्मा फैक्टर सिर्फ आइडेंटिफाई करेगा, वो इलोंगेशन में काम में नहीं आएगा. इट्स ऑफ नो यूज विद द इलोंगेशन, वो सिर्फ पहचानता है. हाँ, यस, very nice, very nice, very nice. So it's the sigma factor who is going to be the one who will actually recognize the DNA strand to find out the promoter. तो हम किसको देते हैं क्रेडिट? हम क्रेडिट देते हैं आरएनए पॉलीमरेज एंजाइम को. भाई पूरा एंजाइम कोई काम का नहीं है. The first thing जो है to recognize that this is the promoter region is going to be exclusively the work of the sigma factor of the RNA polymerase enzyme. Did you all understand this? Any difficulty in understanding this point? Come on, come on. इसलिए मैंने आपको लास्ट क्लास में ही बोला था that if you don't attend this lecture बहुत मिस हो जाएगा, कुछ नहीं समझेगा मैं क्या मतलब बात कर रही हूँ. Again I am telling you all, DNA strand, I am putting the entire kahani in front of you. Please understand. There are two DNA strands, out of which the DNA which is having the polarity from 3' to 5' will be called as a template strand. New mRNA will be synthesized on that template strand, but the reference will be done with respect to the coding strand, which is from 5' to 3'. The RNA polymerase enzyme containing the sigma factor will find out the right sequence on the 5' or on the coding strand and get attached to it with the help of the sigma factor. Sigma factor will decide which is the promoter region. But once it has found out that this is the promoter region, the sigma factor is lost. After the sigma factor is lost, the rest of the factors of the RNA polymerase will go on increasing or making the RNA strand. The copying of the RNA strand or the making of the RNA strand will be from 5' to 3' of the template strand. That area which is being copied is going to be called as the structural gene. Okay. It's very important for the sigma factor to be lost, because if it is there, elongation won't take place. जब तक सिग्मा फैक्टर है तब तक elongation possible नहीं है. ठीक है? Got it? Anyone having any difficulty? Come on, come on, come on. Very good, Sia. Yes. So only after the sigma factor is thrown out, उसके बाद ही structural gene के ऊपर copying start हो जाएगा. Come on, come on, come on. कोई difficulty? Any difficulty? Any difficulty? Have you all followed this precisely? Sigma factor of the RNA polymerase enzyme decides the promoter region. Once it gets attached with the promoter region, the sigma factor is lost. Only then the elongation factors will elongate to form the RNA. ठीक है? चलिए, because you all are not asking me doubts, I assume that you all have understood this. Now, कब तक ये स्ट्रक्चरल जीन कॉपी होता जाएगा? जब तक, हाँ, now understand again this, जब तक वो आरएनए के फैक्टर्स को, आरएनए पॉलीमरेज के फैक्टर्स को, उस एंजाइम को जब तक रो फैक्टर आके अटैच नहीं करता है, तब तक इलोंगेशन चलता ही रहेगा. सो देयर इज अ फैक्टर कॉल्ड एज रो फैक्टर, आरएचओ. देयर इज अ फैक्टर कॉल्ड एज रो फैक्टर व्हिच विल कम. अब देखो, फॉर एग्जांपल ये आरएनए पॉलीमरेज है. दिस आरएनए पॉलीमरेज without the sigma factor is copying the structural gene, जा रहा है जा रहा है जा रहा है जा रहा है जा रहा है. जिस जगह पर उसको रो फैक्टर आके हिट करेगा और उसको कंबाइन करेगा, that will be decided as the terminator point. So who decides the terminator point? The rho factor. Who decides the promoter point? The sigma factor. So rho factor, terminator, sigma factor, promoter. Is it okay? So that rho factor can hit the RNA polymerase enzyme anywhere. There is no rule over there कि इधर ही उसको आके hit करना है. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है? तो promoter region will be decided by the sigma factor of the RNA polymerase. Terminator will be decided by the rho factor which will then combine with the RNA polymerase. हाँ बेटा, कुछ समझ में आ रहा है कि सिर के ऊपर से जा रही है बातें? बताओ, समझा ना बेटा? all of you all, very important point, right? So one more time I'm saying, RNA polymerase is an enzyme which is going to be having several factors, out of which it's going to have a sigma factor which will decide the promoter. Once it has decided the promoter, the sigma factor is lost. Unless and until sigma factor is lost, the elongation will not take place of the structural gene. So the sigma factor loses, after which the structural gene will be, copied continuously till it experiences the rho factor. The point where it experiences the rho factor will be decided as the terminator region, right? Where it comes from, it's going to be an enzyme, beta. It's a completely enzyme mediated process. So in biomolecules, you have seen how the enzymes are going to be made, right? In the chapter of biomolecules, you have seen the formation of enzymes also. So you know like how these enzymes are manufactured, totality, kya hote hai process, how the factors come together, holoenzyme, apoenzyme. Already you all have done in your biomolecules chapter. So there, the process will be the same to form your different factors of the enzyme. Got it? हाँ या ना? समझा कि नहीं समझा? किसी को कोई डाउट है? किसी को कोई डाउट है? Okay. अब मैंने आपको और एक बताया था, हाँ. So sigma factor runs upstream to structure. Yes, it doesn't run, it recognizes. It will not run, it will come and only attach. Okay. 5' upstream of the structural gene. Very true. Okay. Now I had told you that there are certain areas, there are certain sequences which will be recognized by the sigma factor. So these sequences are going to be Tata box. That is जहाँ जहाँ TATAAT ये sequence आता है ना, TATAAT. This sequence will be recognized by the sigma factor. या फिर CAD box CAAT. अगर डीएनए पे ये सीक्वेंस है तो इट विल बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय द सिग्मा फैक्टर. तो ऐसे ना बेटा अलग अलग सीक्वेंसेस है जिसको हम टाटा बॉक्स, कैड बॉक्स, प्रिबनाउ बॉक्स ये नाम से जानते हैं. मैंने आगे ये पूरा स्क्रिप्टिंग किया है. एवरीथिंग इज देयर ऑन द स्लाइड्स, बट फॉर एक्सप्लेनेशन आई नीड दिस डायग्राम. ओके, सो these sequences will be recognized by the RNA polymerase का sigma factor. And because the RNA polymerase will be recognizing DNA sequences, the name of this enzyme is DNA dependent RNA polymerase. What is the name of the enzyme? DNA dependent. DNA के sequence के ऊपर dependent है अपना RNA polymerase enzyme, Therefore, the name of this enzyme is DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. Whereas in case of DNA replication, it was DNA-dependent DNA polymerase. In case of transcription, it is DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. Mistake नहीं होनी चाहिए एग्जाम में, इसलिए मैं ये खुद आपको सामने से बता रही हूँ. Fine. Now understood where is the promoter, where is the terminator. Now my dears, in one of the sentences they had said that the position of the promoter and the terminator can be reversed. Did you all see? एक जगह पर उन्होंने लिखा हुआ है the position of the terminator and the promoter can be reversed. How can it be reversed? Suppose the Tata box is present over here. Instead of being present over here, यहाँ पर हमने promoter लिखा है, बराबर है. तो अगर टाटा बॉक्स, इसका मतलब टाटा बॉक्स इधर है, लेकिन अगर टाटा बॉक्स यहाँ पर है तो क्या हो जाएगा? What will happen if the Tata box is here? Don't you think now this will be called as the promoter and this will be called as the terminator? Yes, exactly. बिल्कुल सही श्रुति and CI, you all are perfectly right, my dears. So, see, now 5 prime is going to be the coding strand. Either be 5 prime is going to be the coding strand, either be 5 prime is going to be the coding strand. Same है, लेकिन reverse हो गए कि नहीं positions? तो टाटा बॉक्स इधर आ गया, मतलब क्या होगा? इधर से स्ट्रक्चरल जीन को ऐसे कॉपी करना है. अगर टाटा बॉक्स ये स्ट्रैंड पे है तो इधर से ऐसे कॉपी करना है. It depends on the presence of the Tata box, cat box, Pribno box. Exactly. Yes, yeah. Very true. Did you all understand the meaning of these sentences? These sentences are just randomly given in your books without any explanations. So there's a very important point to be explained over here, that who decides the promoter, who decides the terminator, which are the sequences, which are the deciding sequences, how can the things be reversed. तो दिमाग में ये सारी जो खिचड़ी पकती है ना, उसकी ये सारे आंसर्स है बेटा. And I hope you all have understood these queries and their answers also. रिवर्सल वाला समझा? तो टाटा बॉक्स जहां पर है उधर सिग्मा फैक्टर अटैच हो जाएगा. टाटा बॉक्स हमेशा कोडिंग स्ट्रैंड के ऊपर ही होना चाहिए. So let it be on this strand or let it be on this strand, doesn't matter. Okay, fine. So see, if there is Tata box on this strand, then this will be called as the promoter. Then sigma factor will come and attach over here. Correct? ये भी 5 प्राइम टू 3 प्राइम वाला कोडिंग स्ट्रैंड ही है. अगर हमने टाटा बॉक्स इधर है देखा, तो दिस विल 5 प्राइम टू 3 प्राइम, दिस विल एक्ट एज अ कोडिंग स्ट्रैंड. 3 prime to 5 prime will act as the template strand, and the positions of the promoter and the terminator will get reversed. Fine ना? Please हाँ, ये समझ लेना, ये बहुत important point है. Got it? Well, I hope you have understood. Let's go to the description of it now. Yeah. So see, it is the DNA sequence that provides binding site for RNA polymerase. Now you understood the Tata box, cat box. It's going to be that DNA sequence which will provide a site for RNA polymerase attachment. And it is the presence of a promoter in a transcription unit that also defines the template and the coding strand. So जहाँ ये promoter attach हो जाता है, या जो promoter है, जिस position पे, जिस जगह पे Tata box है, that will be decided as the coding or template. Okay. No. They are not independent of their prime numbers. Prime number is always 5 prime to 3 prime. Always look at the two strands. जिस strand पे 5 prime to 3 prime के जिस जगह पर टाटा बॉक्स है ना, वो कोडिंग हो जाएगा. Always. It's not independent of their primes, huh? Please. Okay. By switching the position of terminator, the definition of coding and template would get reversed, is what I discussed just now. The terminator is located towards the 3' downstream of the coding strand, and it is usually going to define the end of the process of transcription. There are additional regulatory sequences that may be present further upstream or downstream to the promoter. तो देखो बेटा, इसका लास्ट पॉइंट का मैं मतलब बता रही हूँ. देखो ये प्रमोटर है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, लेकिन इसके पहले भी तो कुछ सीक्वेंसेस है ही ना डीएनए के. These sequences will be called as regulatory sequences. Similarly, this is going to end the process of termination, but इसके आगे भी तो DNA sequences है. That also will be called as regulatory. So before the promoter also there are certain DNA sequences. After the terminator also there are certain DNA sequences which will be coming under regulatory sequences. Okay, got it? So what are regulatory? Those sequences of DNA which are present before the promoter and after the terminator will be called as regulatory sequences. Fine. Okay. Transcription unit and the gene. A gene is defined as functional unit of inheritance. Though there is no ambiguity that the genes are located on DNA, it is difficult to literally define a gene in terms of DNA sequence. We know that gene is going to be always present on the DNA sequence, but where exactly it is and how is it different from DNA, it's very difficult to literally, find it out. The DNA sequence coding for tRNA or rRNA molecule also defines the gene. So whatever will be, like making an RNA will be called as a gene. जो sequence of DNA RNA बनाने में help करेगा, उस part को हम gene कहते हैं. ठीक है? However, by defining a cistron, a segment of DNA coding for a polypeptide, the structural gene in a transcription unit could be said as monocistronic, which is seen in eukaryotes, and polycistronic, mostly seen in prokaryotes, that is bacteria. Okay, so generally we all eukaryotic cells have got monocistronic genes, while prokaryotes have got polycistronic genes. So what do you mean by the monocistronic? Only one polypeptide will be synthesized from the RNA transcript. While if many transcripts are going to be simultaneously made, it will be called as polycistronic. So याद रखिएगा, monocistronic in eukaryotes, polycistronic in bacteria. Okay. In eukaryotes, the monocistronic structural genes have interrupted coding sequences. These genes in eukaryotes are split. Split means उनको निकाला जाता है. उनको जो कोड नहीं करते हैं ना, उनको निकाला जाता है प्रोसेसिंग में. कैसे निकालते हैं वो भी मैं एक्सप्लेन करूंगी ऑफ कोर्स. The coding sequence or expressed sequences are called as exons, and the ones which are removed are called as introns. Exons are said to be the sequences that appear in mature or processed RNA. The exons are interrupted by the introns. Introns or intervening sequences do not appear in mature RNA or in the processed RNA. Okay. So what are these introns? What are these exons? How the introns are removed? How the exons are joined? पूरी कहानी समझाऊंगी. Don't worry. हाँ, what's your doubt? No. You are not understanding the meaning of monocistronic then. Monocistronic का मतलब होता है एक ही ट्रांसक्रिप्शन यूनिट से एक ही mRNA बनेगा, एक ही mRNA से एक ही पॉलीन्यूक्लियोटाइड बनेगा. That is called as monocistronic. Polycistronic में there is going to be a bacteria will be having a circular DNA, right? So they are going to be many mRNAs being continuously synthesized, and all of them will be making their own protein synthesis. So that is poly. Okay, yeah. The split gene arrangement further complicates the definition of a gene in terms of DNA segment. अगर हमने देखा कि ये एक DNA segment है, हाँ, structural gene है जहाँ पर RNA synthesis हो रहा है. So actually we should have said that this entire segment is one gene. but because of this non-coding regions in that, non-coding for protein synthesis, okay, उसको gene बोलना भी गलत है. What is the gene? The one which codes for amino acid sequences. अब इसमें there are certain regions which are not coding for amino acids, तो इसको हम gene कैसे बोले? इसलिए ये split gene arrangement की वजह से है ना, gene का definition ढूंढ निकालना बहुत difficult हो गया है. Okay, got it? Exactly. So hence, sometimes the inheritance of the character is also affected by the promoter and the regulatory sequences of the structural gene. There is going to be different expression for every protein synthesis. So accordingly, the inheritance character will also keep on changing. Okay. Hence, sometimes the regulatory sequences are loosely defined as regulatory genes, even though these sequences do not code for RNA or any protein. So regulatory sequences को ना जनरल टर्म में हम रेगुलेटरी जीन्स कहते हैं, लेकिन ये रेगुलेटरी जीन्स टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग कुछ भी प्रोटीन बनाते नहीं है बेटा, बट उसको हम बोलते हैं रेगुलेटरी जीन्स. फाइन, ओके. Coding is not for protein but for inheritance characters. Yes, yes. Perfect. Yes, you're right. Any difficulty with any of the points on the screen right now in front of you? किसी को ये जो points है इनमें से कोई doubt है? हाँ, exons, introns, split gene क्या है वो मैं बताऊंगी of course. That I'll tell you all right now only. Yes, of course. Yes. Non-coding को ही हम template बोलते हैं बेटा. Non-coding को ही we call it as template. Okay. Well, now let us actually go ahead with the process, types of RNA and the process of transcription, the actual process of transcription, which is something where your board marks are also going to be associated with. So, favorite question of your board examiners as well. Okay, let us see the process. In bacteria, there are three major types of RNA in bacteria. So we are talking about the transcription process in bacteria first. First मतलब we don't have to study in eukaryotes अलग से, कुछ 2-4 points हटके है वो सिर्फ मैं explain करूँगी. Okay, so let us understand the process first in bacteria. In bacteria there are three major RNAs: mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. Same in our case also. All three RNAs are needed to synthesize a protein in a cell. If any one of these is not going to be formed or not available, protein synthesis is not going to take place. Fine. The mRNA provides the template. tRNA brings the amino acid and reads the genetic code. And rRNA polystructural and catalytic role during translation. So the rRNA has got two roles. पहले तो वो राइबोसोम का कंपोनेंट बनेगा, है ना? तो राइबोसोम का कंपोनेंट है इसलिए वो स्ट्रक्चरल हो गया, and it is also going to act like an enzyme which is called as ribozyme. So it is going to have a catalytic function also. Okay, got it? There is a single DNA dependent RNA polymerase. I told you the meaning of DNA dependent RNA polymerase just now. That catalyzes transcription of all types of RNA. So we have got RNA pol 1, RNA pol 2, RNA pol 3. मतलब RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, RNA polymerase 3. तीनों जो है ना ये तीन टाइप के RNA सिंथेसाइज करता है. तो कौन सा क्या सिंथेसाइज करता है? As put up. RNA polymerase binds to the promoter and initiates transcription, which is called as initiation. It uses nucleoside triphosphatase as substrate and polymerizes in a template dependent fashion. So we already know what is this nucleoside triphosphate. We have seen deoxynucleoside triphosphates in DNA replication. Correct? Similarly, this is RNA. So it is not going to be deoxy. It's going to be your normal nucleoside triphosphate. Means what? ATP, GTP, CTP, UTP, not TTP, UTP. Correct? Remember all these things that we have done in DNA? Same thing is over here. So here it's going to be adding ATP, GTP, UTP, CTP on the template strand, right? So it's going to be template dependent, following the rule of complementarity. So if the template is going to be having AAA, TTT, it will add UUU, AAA, right? Complementarity के बेस पे ही सीक्वेंस ऐड होते जाते हैं. Now see what happens. It somehow also facilitates opening of the helix and continues the elongation. तो ऐसे जहां पर वो घुस जाएगी ना ये एंजाइम, उधर से ये बबल फॉर्मेशन स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. डीएनए का जो लूप है वो ओपन होता जाएगा. Only a short stretch of RNA remains bound to the enzyme. Once the polymerase reaches the terminator region, the nascent RNA, nascent means newly formed RNA, okay, falls off. So also the RNA polymerase. तो जहां पर वो रो फैक्टर को हिट करेगा ना बेटा, उस पॉइंट पे ये आरएनए भी वहां से बाहर निकल आएगा और आरएनए पॉलीमरेज भी वहां से हट जाएगा. फाइन. This results in termination of transcription. So this is very simple. Initiation कैसे होता है और termination कैसे होता है. Agreed? Who decides this? See? An intriguing question is that how is the RNA polymerase able to catalyze all the three steps: initiation, elongation, termination? The RNA polymerase is only capable of catalyzing the process of elongation. तो सिर्फ elongation के लिए actually RNA polymerase काम करता है. It associates transiently with the initiation factor, that is the sigma factor, and the termination factor, which is a rho factor, to initiate and terminate the transcription respectively. So who is the one who is recognizing that sequence? Who is initiating this? Sigma factor. Who is the one who is going to end this particular process? Rho factor. Right? Now you understood? Association with these factors alters the specificity of the RNA polymerase to either initiate or terminate. In bacteria, since mRNA does not require any processing to become active, and also since transcription and translation takes place in the same compartment, they don't have a nucleus, na? So all these processes will take place in the cytoplasm of the bacteria, correct? There is no separation of cytosol and the nucleus in the bacterium. So many times the translation begins much before the mRNA is fully transcribed. तो जैसे mRNA बनता जाता है ना साइटोप्लाज्म में, उसका ट्रांसलेशन भी साइमल्टेनियसली स्टार्ट हो जाता है बैक्टीरिया में. हमारे में ये केस नहीं है. We have got a nucleus. So हमारा ट्रांसक्रिप्शन का प्रोसेस इज टेकिंग प्लेस इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस, वाइल हमारा ट्रांसलेशन का प्रोसेस, प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस का जो स्टेप है ना, इट विल टेक प्लेस इन द साइटोप्लाज्म. सो इन यूकैरियोटिक सेल ट्रांसक्रिप्शन जब तक पूरा नहीं होता है ना बेटा, तब तक ट्रांसलेशन कैन नॉट बी स्टार्टेड. So unless and until the transcript is completely fully matured and ready, it will not be coming out from the nucleus into the cytoplasm. But this is not the case of bacteria. Bacteria में nucleus नहीं है, तो transcription भी cytoplasm में हो रहा है. तो जैसे ही transcript बनता जाता है, automatically simultaneously translation भी उसका उधर के उधर चालू हो जाता है. ठीक है. तो यूकैरियोट्स में प्रोसेस को और थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेट मतलब दिखाई दे रहा है हमें. मतलब पहले तो ये ट्रांसक्रिप्ट को आरएनए ट्रांसक्रिप्ट को न्यूक्लियस में बनाने का काम है. आफ्टर दैट उसको प्रोसेसिंग करना पड़ेगा सो दैट इट कैन कम आउट फ्रॉम द न्यूक्लियस इनटू द साइटोप्लाज्म. एंड व्हेन इट लैंड्स इन द साइटोप्लाज्म, only then it can get translated to form polypeptide. Okay, got it? Otherwise the process remains the same: promoter, elongation, termination, RNA transcript form. Let it be a bacteria, let it be eukaryotic cell. The process remains the same. They also have got sigma factor, we also have got sigma factor. They also have got rho factor, we also have got rho factor. ठीक है, तो ये प्रोसेस सेम है जो एक्सप्लेन किया गया है. ओनली द थिंग इज पोस्ट ट्रांसक्रिप्शनल चेंजेस कुछ होने वाले हैं. आफ्टर द ट्रांसक्रिप्शन टेक्स प्लेस एंड बिफोर द ट्रांसलेशन टेक्स प्लेस, उनके बीच में उस ट्रांसक्रिप्ट के ऊपर कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे होने वाला है जिसको हम कहेंगे पोस्ट ट्रांसक्रिप्शनल चेंजेस. फाइन. Consequently, the transcription and translation can be coupled in bacteria. In eukaryotes, there are two additional complexities. There are at least 3 RNA polymerases in the nucleus in addition to the RNA polymerase found in the organelles. There is clear-cut division of labor. RNA polymerase 1. Please remember this. Never forget this. Always a favorite question of your test papers. RNA pol 1 transcribes rRNA. That is 28S rRNA, 18S rRNA, and 5.8S rRNA, which we have seen in the ribosomes. Cell unit of life में ribosomes के time पे I had given this. Whereas the RNA polymerase 3 is responsible for the formation of tRNA, 5S RNA, snRNA, that is small nuclear RNA, while the RNA polymerase 2 is the precursor for mRNA, the heterogeneous nuclear RNA, which is called as hnRNA. तो देखो बेटा, DNA pol 1 rRNA, DNA pol 2 mRNA, DNA pol 3 tRNA. ये दिमाग में तो फिट है बराबर. लेकिन यहाँ पर एक पॉइंट है, ये वाला देखिए बेटा, tRNA के साथ rRNA is also going to be synthesized by RNA pol 3. अदरवाइज बाकी सारे rRNA कौन बनाता है? pol 1 बनाता है हमारे में. In us, in eukaryotic cell, RNA polymerase 1 will make all the rRNAs except 5S rRNA. The 5S rRNA will be made by pol 3. Don't make a blunder over here. Here you all are going to go wrong. Because दिमाग में फिट क्या है? pol 1 rRNA, pol 2 mRNA, pol 3 tRNA. ये दिमाग में फिट हो जाता है. But there is an exception. Along with tRNA, pol 3 is also responsible for making 5S rRNA. Kindly note this down. Most important point. Most important point. Along with snRNA. What is snRNA? Small nuclear RNA. So there are small pieces of RNA which are going to be synthesized in the nucleus. What is the use of this snRNA? I'll tell you now only. It's most important role of snRNA. तो ये दिमाग में फिट. pol 1 rRNA, pol 2 mRNA, pol 3 tRNA, snRNA, 5S rRNA. ये दिमाग में फिट किया आपने. ठीक है, ये यूकैरियोटिक सेल्स की बातें हो रही है बेटा. What is this heterogeneous nuclear RNA? Hetero means different, right? Nucleus means inside the nucleus there is going to be formation of this particular RNA, which is then going to be called as mRNA. तो hnRNA में और mRNA में कुछ ना कुछ फर्क होना चाहिए. What is the difference? Is what we are going to talk about. Is it fine? So RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, RNA polymerase 3. अब देखिएगा बेटा, अगर RNA polymerase 1 attaches to the promoter region, then the RNA which is going to be formed will eventually be converted into rRNA. If RNA polymerase 2 comes and attaches at the promoter region, then the RNA which is going to be formed of the structural gene will be then called as mRNA. If RNA polymerase 3 comes and attaches at the promoter region, then the RNA that is going to be formed will either become 5S RNA, or it will become snRNA, or it will become tRNA. So who decides what is made, what is not made? What are the changes that are going to be made to make mRNA, tRNA, rRNA? ऐसे क्या होता है, ये भी तो समझना है हमें. तो एक चीज है कौन सा RNA पॉल आके अटैच होता है प्रमोटर रीजन पे, और दूसरा है उस ट्रांसक्रिप्ट में अकॉर्डिंगली चेंजेस क्या होते हैं टू कॉल इट एज rRNA, tRNA एंड mRNA. इज इट फाइन? Have you all understood up till here? Anyone has got any difficulty in understanding these points? Tell me, beta. Follow, please, please. I need to understand if you all have not understood or if you all have understood. I need to understand that. Pol 1, Pol 2, Pol 3. Most important. No? Understood? Wow. That's nice. The second complexity is that the primary transcripts contain both exons and introns. And we know that introns are non-functional. Hence, it is subjected to the process of splicing where the introns are removed and exons are joined in a defined order. तो ये जो ट्रांसक्रिप्ट बना है ना बेटा, इनमें कोडिंग सीक्वेंसेस भी है और नॉन कोडिंग सीक्वेंसेस भी है. ये कोडिंग किसके लिए? प्रोटीन्स के लिए. ये नॉन कोडिंग किसके लिए? प्रोटीन्स के लिए. तो कोडिंग फॉर प्रोटीन्स एंड नॉट कोडिंग फॉर प्रोटीन्स, जैसे दोनों सीक्वेंस का ऑल्टरनेशन है. कोडिंग नॉन कोडिंग, कोडिंग नॉन कोडिंग, कोडिंग नॉन कोडिंग, मतलब एक्सॉन्स इंट्रॉन्स, एक्सॉन्स इंट्रॉन्स, एक्सॉन इंट्रॉन्स, ऐसे एक चेन बनी है. हमें क्या करना है? इंट्रॉन्स को निकाल देना है तो दो एक्सॉन्स अटैच हो जाएंगे. इंट्रॉन्स को निकाल देना है, दो एक्सॉन्स अटैच हो जाएंगे. लाइक दैट वे देयर विल बी अ चेन ऑफ ओनली एक्सॉन्स व्हिच आर कोडिंग फॉर प्रोटीन्स. So this is one more complexity that is there in eukaryotic transcription. Okay. Hence, it is subject to the process of splicing. Splicing means removing of the introns. Where the introns are removed, exons are joined in a defined order. Okay. HNRNA undergoes two additional processes, which is called as capping and tailing. So once the introns and exons are going to be removed, once the introns are going to be removed and only exons are going to be present, this particular transcript की size छोटी हो गई कि नहीं? Suppose 20 की ये chain थी, 10 इंट्रॉन्स और 10 एक्सॉन्स, ऐसे वो ऑल्टरनेटिंग फैशन में थे. अभी हमने सारे इंट्रॉन्स निकाल दिए तो सिर्फ 10 एक्सॉन्स रह गए कि नहीं? तो उसकी साइज अभी छोटी हो गई है, हाफ साइज हो गई है उसकी. करेक्ट. अब ये एक्सॉन जो सिर्फ सारे एक्सॉन्स हैं, दे रिक्वायर एडिशनल टू प्रोसेसेस. द फर्स्ट प्रोसेस इज गोइंग टू बी कॉल्ड एज कैपिंग, अदर प्रोसेस विल बी कॉल्ड एज टेलिंग. सो एट 5' end of the RNA, 5' end of the HNRNA, there is going to be addition of a cap. And at the 3' end of that HNRNA, there is going to be addition of adenyl nucleotides, poly A जिसको हम कहते हैं poly A tail. So look at this. In capping, an unusual nucleotide, which is methyl guanosine triphosphate, is added at the 5' mRNA end. तो HNRNA end, अभी तक इसको हम mRNA नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि अभी तक प्रोसेस नहीं हुआ है. तो ये 5' end है, ये 3' end है. तो 5' end पे क्या लग जाता है बेटा? क्या चिपक जाता है? मिथाइल गुआनोसिन ट्राइफॉस्फेट की एक कैप लग जाती है. ओके. क्यों लगती है ना, ये मैं बताऊंगी जब मैं ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ाऊंगी. As of now, just remember, there are three things that will happen in mRNA synthesis. First will be splicing, that is removal of introns. Second will be capping, that is adding methyl guanosine triphosphate cap at the 5' end. And the third thing is tailing. In tailing, adenylate residues around 200 to 300 are added at the 3' end in a template independent manner. Means it does that a ऐसे पूरी एक चेन लगेगी ना, एक ही 200 से 300 ए लगेंगे. इंडिपेंडेंट है, सामने टी है इसीलिए ए नहीं लग रहा है बेटा. इट्स बीइंग एडेड इंडिपेंडेंटली. So that process of adding poly A's will be called as what? Tailing. So the RNA which is formed after the attachment of the RNA polymerase 2, the structural gene was copied and HNRNA was formed. This HNRNA underwent three processes: splicing, capping, tailing. In splicing, all the introns were removed, all the exons were joined, which underwent capping. Capping is addition of methyl guanosine triphosphate at the 5' end, and tailing is the process of adding adenylate residues around 200 to 300 at the 3' end. Is it fine? This particular hnRNA, after completion of these three sequences, will now be called as fully matured RNA or mRNA. Okay, so it is fully processed mRNA, now called as fully processed hnRNA, now called as mRNA, that is going to be transported out of the nucleus for translation. So did you all understand the difference between hnRNA and mRNA? Therefore, we say that the polymerase 2, RNA polymerase 2, is the precursor of mRNA formation, because it is actually going to make hnRNA. And the hnRNA, after undergoing these three processes of splicing, capping, and tailing, only then we call it as mRNA. Now, what is the reason for that cap? And what is the reason for that tail? And what is the reason for the splicing? Let us understand that. Splicing of introns is done so that we get a comma-less genetic code. नहीं तो क्या हो जाएगा, बीच के जो सीक्वेंसेस है जो कुछ कोड ही नहीं करते हैं प्रोटीन्स के लिए, प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. We have seen genetic code is comma-less. It should be continuously read. So to read it continuously, जो कुछ काम की चीजें नहीं है उनको निकालना पड़ेगा कि नहीं. So to make the genetic code comma-less, the introns have to be spliced out. Introns have to be removed. That is the first reason for splicing. Why is it capped? Capping की क्या जरूरत है? Why there is addition of methyl guanosine triphosphate at the 5' end? This particular cap will recognize the ribosome during protein synthesis. तो प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस में राइबोसोम को पहचान, मतलब राइबोसोम पहचानना चाहिए ना कि ये फुल्ली प्रोसेस्ड एमआरएनए है. तो राइबोसोम किसको पहचानता है? ये मिथाइल गुआनोसिन ट्राइफॉस्फेट को पहचानता है. तो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस मिथाइल गुआनोसिन ट्राइफॉस्फेट का कैप, द राइबोसोम विल गेट attracted towards it, otherwise it won't. So the process of translation, that is the process of polypeptide chain formation, will not initiate only if this cap is not there. So the cap का function क्या है बेटा? The cap will be recognized by the ribosome, so that the ribosome comes and attach to the mRNA molecule for protein synthesis. So did you all understand the reason for capping? Reason for splicing क्या था? Comma-less, continuity चाहिए. Reason for capping क्या है? Unless and until cap नहीं है, ribosome उसको attach ही नहीं हो पाएगा. So for getting attracted and getting attached with the mRNA, cap is important. Got it? What is the reason for tailing? Tail की क्या जरूरत है? इतने 200, 300 एक क्यों चाहिए? So when the mRNA is completely ready, it wants to come out of the nucleus into the cytoplasm. So what will the poly A do? Poly A will knock the doors of the nuclear pores. You remember nuclear pore has got annuli, which is going to prevent the incoming and outgoing of any substances. So now the poly A will start knocking the door. I am ready, I am ready, let me go out, I am ready, let me go out. तो न्यूक्लियस के बाहर साइटोप्लाज्म में एंट्री करने के लिए जब तक पॉली ए टेल नहीं लगेगी तब तक नॉकिंग नहीं होगा. जब तक नॉकिंग नहीं होगा तब तक पोर नहीं खुलेगा. जब तक न्यूक्लियर पोर नहीं खुलेगा तब तक ये एमआरएनए साइटोप्लाज्म में आ नहीं पाएगा. इज इट ओके? सो व्हाट इज द रोल ऑफ पॉली ए टेल? टू allow the nuclear pores to open up, so that this processed RNA, this mRNA is going to be let out into the cytoplasm. So you understood the reasons, the reasons for splicing, capping and tailing. है कोई डिफिकल्टी? कोई भी पॉइंट इसमें से जो मैंने बताया वो नहीं समझा हो, ऐसा कोई है क्या? Come on, please tell me. है कोई? Anyone? Oh, that means you all have understood. The split gene arrangements represents probably an ancient feature of the genome. Means presence of introns and exons is going to be an ancient feature of the genome because initially the genome was RNA, not DNA, right? The presence of introns is reminiscence of antiquity, and the process of splicing represents the dominance of the RNA world. So what do you mean by reminiscence of antiquity? पुराने जमाने से, पहले से इंट्रॉन्स जो प्रेजेंट है, ये पुराने जमाने से, जब लाइफ केम इनटू ओरिजिन एंड आरएनए वाज द जेनेटिक मटेरियल, तब से ये प्रेजेंट है, is what is, like proving the presence of introns even today. And the process of splicing represents the dominance of the RNA world, because splicing is purely done by proteins and snRNA. जो स्मॉल न्यूक्लियर आरएनए बनाया था ना, ये दोनों मिलाकर है ना इंट्रॉन्स को निकालते हैं. तो हु इज गोइंग टू डोमिनेट द प्रोसेस? आरएनए ओनली, राइट? So the snRNA and the protein synthesized by the mRNA are responsible for the splicing. So they say that it proves the dominance of the RNA world. In recent times, the understanding of RNA and RNA-dependent processes in a living system has assumed more importance. Transcribing segment, that is cistron, has a promoter region where initiation of transcription begins and a termination region where the transcription ends. Promoter has different paths for attachment of various transcription factors. In many cases, the promoter has AT-rich sequences called as the Tata box, the one which I had already explained. The area has a groove to which specific protein components can combine. Tata contains region. Tata containing region is also called as Pribnow box after the name of the discoverer. So this Tata box was found out by a person called as Pribnow, and therefore this Tata box is also called as Pribnow box, which I have told that आगे आएगा ये सब कुछ, right? Enzyme required for transcription is RNA polymerase, which is isolated from E. coli. Eukaryotic RNA polymerase also requires transcription factors for initiation. The entire enzyme, that is the holoenzyme, consists of a core enzyme and a Sigma factor. So you know the difference between apoenzyme, core enzyme, holoenzyme, already taught in biomolecules. So I hope you all know this. The core enzyme consists of 4 polypeptide chains, alpha alpha dash, beta omega. The holoenzyme has a molecular weight of 4.5 into 10 raised to 5 Daltons actually. RNA polymerase not only initiates but also extends the RNA, which is chain elongation, and always functions from 5 prime to 3 prime direction, always. Sigma factor recognizes the start signal or the promoter region of DNA. Prokaryotes have only one type of RNA polymerase which synthesizes all types of RNA. But eukaryotes have 3 types of RNA polymerases, one for rRNA, two for mRNA, and three for tRNA. A specific protein called as Rho factor is required for termination of transcription. Now these things seems to be simple because you all have already understood the description. In many bacteria, genes of related functions are grouped together, which is called as operons. Kindly remember this point. In prokaryotes, like in bacteria, genes of related functions are grouped together, which is called as operon. तो एक ही फंक्शन है, उसके लिए बहुत सारे जीन्स कलेक्टिवली रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, तो ये कलेक्शन ऑफ जीन्स को हम कहते हैं ओपेरॉन. ओके, an operon acts as a single transcription unit and thus produces polycistronic mRNA. तो कैसा होगा? एक ही बबल ओपन हुआ है, एक ही mRNA बनने वाला है, लेकिन एक के जगह पर बहुत सारे mRNA अलग अलग बनेंगे, ईच पूरे उस ओपेरॉन के. Therefore, we call it as polycistronic. So when I'll teach you all lac operon, na, it will be more clear for you all to understand what is monocistronic and polycistronic. Don't worry about it. Okay. In eukaryotes, only monocistronic mRNAs are generally produced. Actinomycin D prevents transcription in bacteria. So अगर हमें बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन हुआ है तो हम जो दवाई खाते हैं उसमें जनरली एक्टिनोमाइसिन डी नाम का ड्रग होता है which will prevent the transcription in bacteria and therefore no protein synthesis will take place in bacteria and they will get killed. Okay, so this is about the difference between bacterial and eukaryotic synthesis. Look at this beta. ये देखो, this is the DNA. This is recognized as the promoter. RNA polymerase यहाँ पर bind हो गया है. Correct? Now look at this. ये RNA polymerase जैसे आगे जा रहा है, ये bubble दिखाई दिया बेटा? Can you see this bubble? This is the transcription unit. इसको हम bubble कहते हैं, which is getting copied. क्या हो रहा है देखो? RNA synthesis start हो गया. So elongation has started. How is the elongation? From 5 prime to 3 prime. Because the template is this, red wala is the template. Can you all see? The template is from 3 prime to 5 prime. So the formation of this is going to be from 5 prime to 3 prime. Correct? So elongation has started. Look at this. Stop or the stop sequence or row factor यहाँ पर experience करेगा. So as and when row factor experience करेगा, polymerase enzyme is also going to be thrown out and the RNA is also going to be thrown out. Got it? Understood? So this is the diagrammatic representation of the process of transcription. Any difficulty in understanding this? Understood very precisely? Okay. So, हाँ, that is what is very simple. याद क्या रखना है? यहाँ पर है ना बेटा, sigma factor है. यहाँ पर sigma factor is thrown out. There is no sigma factor inside this enzyme anything like anymore. It's going to be thrown out. Okay. So that is what is the elongation. So with this, we complete the process of transcription. Day after tomorrow, I'll go ahead with translation and probably lac operon also we can complete. So again, transcription, translation, lac operon. ये तीन है ना बेटा, बहुत सारे बच्चों को है ना बोल्डर्स लगते हैं, लेकिन वो वैसे नहीं है. It is very simple. Okay. So in 2 minutes time, I'll give you all the entire recap of today's lecture. Fine. DNA is a double-stranded structure. DNA strand, which is going to be having 5 prime to 3 prime will be called as the coding strand, and 3 prime to 5 prime will be called as the template strand. Fine. The region called as the Tata box or CAD box, Pribno box will be recognized by RNA polymerase, which contains the sigma factor, which is called as the initiation factor. It will decide the promoter region, which is going to lie 5 prime upstream of the structural gene. Correct? The sigma factor will be lost so that the copying or the formation of RNA begins in the structural gene region, which is going to be complementary to the template strand. The copying of the RNA will be continued till the polymerase, RNA polymerase enzyme experiences the row factor. The minute it experiences the row factor, it's going to be called as the termination part of the transcription unit, wherein the transcript is also thrown out along with the polymerase. In bacteria, there is only one type of RNA polymerase, which is making all the 3 types of RNA, that is mRNA, rRNA, and tRNA. On the other hand, eukaryotic cells have got 3 types of RNA polymerases. RNA polymerase 1, which is responsible for making rRNA. RNA polymerase 2, which is responsible for making mRNA. RNA polymerase 3, which is responsible for making tRNA. In this way, all the RNAs will be formed depending upon which RNA polymerase enzyme comes and binds at the promoter region. If it's going to be rRNA, that means if the pol 1 comes and attaches to the promoter region, rRNA will be formed. If RNA pol 2 comes and attaches at the promoter region, mRNA will be formed. But to call it as mRNA, it requires 3 additional processes: splicing, capping, and tailing. Splicing is done for the removal of non-coding regions of the transcript called as introns. These introns are spliced off with the help of something called as snRNA and proteins. अब ना बेटा ये आपके बुक्स में नहीं दिया है. It's called as SNURPs, SNURPS. That is small nuclear RNA and protein. तो इसको है ना SNURPs कहा जाता है. SNRP है वो. SNR means small nuclear RNA and P for proteins. ये ना पूरे इकट्ठा आते हैं, तो इसको हम SNURPs कहते हैं या spliceosome कहते हैं. They will, like a magnet only, na? They'll pull that introns out. Okay, so the SNRPs are responsible for splicing, and only exons remain, which will be joined by RNA ligases. Okay, these exons will further undergo another process of capping, where there is addition of methyl guanosine triphosphate at the 5' end. The third process is going to be addition of poly A tail, which is around 200 to 300, template independent addition of adenylate residues. Once the poly A tail is ready, the transcript, the hnRNA, is ready to come out of the nucleus, which will now be called as mRNA. So the mRNA will move out from the nucleus and enter into the cytoplasm for the translation process to begin. Removing of introns is done for maintaining the continuity or the commaless character of the genetic code. Capping is done for the ribosome to recognize the mRNA, and tailing is done for the mRNA to move out from the nucleus into the cytoplasm. Is it okay? Have you all understood? So now the mRNA is freely floating into the cytoplasm. इसका आगे क्या होने वाला है is something that we're going to talk about in the Thursday's lecture. Is it fine? Is it understood very precisely? It's a purely conceptual phenomena, बेटा. इसको बार बार पढ़ते रहना, इसको बार बार रिवाइज करते रहना, नहीं तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा ये पूरा कंटेंट समझना. Is it okay? हाँ या ना? तो tRNA कैसे बनता है आपको मैंने बताया अभी. जब RNA पॉलीमरेज 3 आके उसको बाइंड करेगा तो tRNA बनेगा. tRNA का 2 ही चीजें होता है. पोस्ट ट्रांसक्रिप्शनल प्रोसेस 2 ही है. एक है 3' एंड पे CCA बनाना, याद है आपको, एंड 5' एंड पे G रहना. देन इट विल बी कॉल्ड एज योर tRNA, जो हमने क्लोवरलीफ मॉडल ऑफ tRNA में देखा हुआ है. CCA एंड 5' पे है G. तो उनमें सिर्फ 2 प्रोसेसेस होते हैं. mRNA में 3 प्रोसेसेस होते हैं, एंड rRNA में एक ही प्रोसेस होता है, विच इज कॉल्ड एज क्लीवेज. So cleavage for making rRNA, splicing, capping, tailing for making mRNA, and 5' पे G चिपकाना और 3' पे CCA चिपकाने का काम होता है tRNA बनाने में. Fine. So this is how your all 3 RNAs are produced by the same process of transcription. tRNA के लिए अलग ट्रांसक्रिप्शन, mRNA के लिए अलग ट्रांसक्रिप्शन, rRNA के लिए अलग ट्रांसक्रिप्शन, कुछ नहीं होता है बेटा. तो ट्रांसक्रिप्शन एक ही है. प्रमोटर, स्ट्रक्चरल, टर्मिनेटर. प्रमोटर सिग्मा फैक्टर, बाहर निकल गया इलोंगेशन फैक्टर, टर्मिनेटर रो फैक्टर. ये 3 चीजें इज योर ट्रांसक्रिप्शन. इज इट डिफिकल्ट? Tell me genuinely, is it difficult? Let it be any type of RNA. Only three things happen. Promoter, recognized by sigma. Sigma goes out. Transcription begins of the structural gene. It continues till it experiences rho factor. The minute it experiences rho factor, termination. End of the process of transcription, transcript given out. ये ट्रांसक्रिप्ट आरआरएनए बनाएगा, एमआरएनए बनाएगा या टीआरएनए बनाएगा, विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय द एंजाइम. पॉलीमरेज कौन सा आके चिपक गया है ना. अगर पॉल 1 चिपक गया है तो क्लीवेज हो जाएगा आरएनए ट्रांसक्रिप्ट का, आरआरएनए बनेगा. अगर पॉल 2 चिपक गया है तो उस ट्रांसक्रिप्ट को 3 प्रोसेसेस अंडरगो करने पड़ेंगे. स्प्लाइसिंग, कैपिंग, टेलिंग, एमआरएनए बनेगा. अगर पॉल 3 आके चिपक गया है तो इस ट्रांसक्रिप्ट को 2 प्रोसेसेस अंडरगो करने पड़ेंगे. एडिशन ऑफ guanine at 5 prime end and addition of CCA at the 3 prime end. That's it. That's it. Is it difficult? Tell me genuinely. Do you think it's difficult now? Still you are finding it difficult, yes or no? It's simple, na? Exactly. That's what I want, bacha. I want these things to be very, very simple and very, very clear to all of you all. And I hope you all have understood this thing very precisely. Okay? Chal. Anyways, so in the next class, I'll go ahead with the protein synthesis with translation. And if possible, I'll also complete the lacoperon. Very, very important processes, both of them. Fine? Chal. See you all. And thank you so much for listening everything very carefully. I hope. Bye. Bye. Bye.